Welcome back to part 3 of our series on Charles Manson on Respect the Dead, the podcast where we don't.
Sweaty, it's no surprise that everybody celebrated your demise, and now worms are eating your eyes. So don't you worry your rotten head as you sleep in your sodden bed. It's time to respect the dead. It's time to respect the dead. It's time to respect the dead.
Okay, so I'm Kaylin, which you should know because you should have seen part 1 and 2 already if you're on part 3.
I'm Hoots, and if you hear a little meowing in the background, that's my cat, Holly.
Yeah, she wants attention.
She's being really rude right now, actually. It's really not okay.
If she keeps doing it, we're going to call the dog catcher.
Yeah, we're going to call the dog catcher.
When I was a kid, I really thought dog catchers were going to be a big problem in my life. I don't know. Like dog catchers, quicksand.
Like with a net?
Yeah.
Quicksand.
Like some
God.
guy with a square truck and a net. I really thought I'd see him running around just scooping up your animals and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Piranhas. I really thought those were going to be a bigger part of my life.
Piranhas.
I don't even think I've ever seen a piranha.
I've definitely never interacted with one. I can tell you that right the fuck now. I've seen them at the zoo. I saw a piranha at the zoo, but that's what
I've never seen them in a pool, though, to this day.
No, but I mean, there's still time. So when we last left off, Charlie's family was fully formed, fully full of brainwashing nonsense about Helter Skelter and an oncoming race war signaled through Beatles music, and they're primed and prepped for chaos. Today is the final episode of the series, and we're going to get into the murders, the motive, the trials, and Charles Manson's final days behind bars. This one will be a little crimey for most of it, but I attempt as much as I can to not go into like detail because I don't think it's necessary. Yeah. I feel like the details of the crime itself, like what happens around it, things that they find at the scene are very interesting, but I don't need to like get into like gory, bloody detail.
We're not a true crime podcast.
No. like sometimes there's overlap because a lot of people who are terrible murderers.
Some people commit crimes.
Often, some people commit crimes. And often, those people are bad.
Yeah.
At least if the crimes are bad enough to get you on this podcast. The cute little crimes like fraud or scamming, we're not that worried about.
We stand that.
So on March 23rd, 1969, Charles Manson entered the property at 10050 Cielo Drive, which he believed was still Terry Melcher's residence. Melcher was the music producer who had tempted him back with recording an album earlier, saying that like maybe he'd get him a record label contract. And at one point, he had potentially considered doing a documentary about him and the family, but neither of those panned out, likely because he met them and was like, oh no, that's okay.
Okay.
Whoa. Yeah,
when you said the family,
like,
I thought that was like the name of the band, like the Mamas and the Papas, you know? Yeah. I didn't realize it was this kind of situation.
Well, I think he heard tale that like, oh, there's a bunch of hippies living down at this place and they all make music.
Family. Yeah.
And he got there and was like, oh my God, this is good, like quaint. Yeah. And was like, oof, bye. So he showed up at his house. Manson was not invited and had no appointment to be there, as he often did. As he approached the main house, he was confronted by Shiro Katami. There's 3 H's in this name. And whenever that happens to me, I see multiple of the same letter. My brain, like, it just like can't process it unless in my brain I stop and I'm like, break it up into parts. I end up just wanting to be like,
is that dyslexia? Are you a little dyslexic?
I think I just smoke too much weed and I never wear my glasses.
That's right.
Normally I just like,
I know blind.
I've seen this name, I've seen this word before, so I can guess what it is. But when it's not something I'm used to and there's like repetition, I'm like, I have no idea what this is supposed to be.
So it's just drug abuse and myopia.
Absolutely.
Beautiful name for a girl.
Oh my God. Pia for short.
Myopia. So
Or
cute.
Opie. So as he approached the main house, he was confronted by Shiroko Hatami, a friend of Roman Polanski and Sharon Tate, who was at
Friend
the
of the
house
channel, Roman Polanski. Future subject.
I love saying friend of the channel when we mean somebody we absolutely detest enough to cover on this channel.
Friend of the channel, Hitler.
I think on the last one I said friend of the channel Roy Cohn. I was like, should I have said that? I'm like, they'll get it.
Friend of the pod.
A friend of Roman Polanski and Sharon Tate, who was at the house to photograph Tate before her scheduled departure for Rome the next day. When Hatami asked what he wanted, Manson said he was looking for Melcher, a name Hatami didn't recognize. Hatami told Manson, like, he doesn't live here anymore. People move, and suggested maybe he lives in the guest house behind the main residence, or like maybe the guy in the guest house will know where he went. Then Sharon Tate appeared in the doorway and asked Hatami who was at the door. While Tate and Hatami watched, Manson silently walked to the guest house, returned a moment later, and left without speaking. That evening, Manson returned to the property and approached the guest house again. He entered the enclosed porch and spoke with the property owner, Rudy Altobelli, who had just stepped out of the shower. Manson again asked for Melcher, although Altobelli suspected Manson was actually looking for him himself. It was later discovered that Manson had visited the property more than once after Melcher had moved out. So he's skulking. He's a skulker. Yeah. Classic skulking behavior.
Skulking behavior, yeah.
Speaking through a screen door, which is very wise, I might add, Altobelli told Manson that Melcher had relocated to Malibu, though he withheld the exact address and didn't tell him that he knew. The next day, Altobelli and Tate flew to Rome together, and during the flight, Tate asked Altobelli whether that creepy-looking guy from the day before had come to see him. So, like, they all remembered him. They knew he had been there.
He made an impression.
Yes.
One thing you can say about Charles Manson is he always made an impression.
And later, there would be some people who would insinuate that Manson sent his followers to kill Melcher, but that Melcher had moved and he didn't know. But there's like clearly, like they have clear memories of being like, what about that creepy looking guy? Do you remember him?
Yeah.
And he's, I think, both memorable and describable.
Right. Again, he always made an impression. Yeah. He left a lasting impression.
Tex Watson had become involved in a drug deal very recently and was arrested after robbing a dealer named Bernard Lotsapapa Crow. Lotsapapa is insane. Like Lotsapapa? Like he's Big Daddy almost, like Lotsapapa.
Lotsapapa.
Which I think is amazing.
I'm going to call my bear of a boyfriend that. Lotsapapa.
Bernard Lotsapapa Crow. If my name was Bernard and I was a drug dealer, I would be coming up with the name too.
Bernie Lotsapapa.
So Crow allegedly threatened to kill everyone at the ranch in retaliation for Tex Watson robbing him. And this is where, for all we know, the first murder occurs.
Okay.
Charles shoots Crow at his Hollywood apartment on July 1st, 1969. Manson believed that he had killed Crow. Specifically, like he shot him and then left. But in Manson's mind, his confirmation that he had actually died was a news report about the discovery of a dead Black Panther in LA. Crow was not a Black Panther. He was just black. And Manson was now like, oh shit, I think I started Helter Skelter. So Manson's bunkering down. He's trying to like prepare.
He's hunkering and bunkering.
He's hunkering and he's bunkering.
He's hunkering down in his bunker.
Yes. And preparing for retaliation, fortifies the ranch, has organized armed night patrols going around to defend against this anticipated attack. Tex Watson later wrote that Manson said Blackie was trying to get at the chosen ones. Like the British are coming, like he's running back to the ranch.
Oh my God.
Like, nobody was fucking coming for him. He had just killed a black man.
Yeah.
Like the police weren't coming for him. The Black Panthers weren't coming for him because he wasn't a fucking Black Panther. But Manson is like, no, we need protection. So he recruits members of the Straight Satan's Motorcycle Club, which I guess are just bikers. Straight Satan's is hilarious. It's really funny if because it implies the existence of the Gay Satans
of the Gay Satans
Motorcycle Club, and that either the Gay Satans started first and they're just called the Satan's Motorcycle Club, or a second Satan's Motorcycle Club popped up and they had to differentiate between the two of them. Yeah. And the second one was gay. Satans. And the straight Satans were like, oh, we don't want people, because you say you're from the Satans and people are like, oh, you want to go hang out at the urinal with me and swap some loads? But then they would be like, no, I don't. But thank you for asking.
I'm part of the straight Satans. Yeah, I understand the confusion.
And coincidentally, this happened on July 1st, just days after the beginning of the Stonewall Riots uprising in 1969.
There's a lot happening around.
There's a lot going 60s. On. We're all very busy.
It's a lot, yeah.
Actually, okay, I'm thinking about Lots of Papa as a name now, and that doesn't feel that crazy. Like, as a YouTuber, like, I have to refer to people as things like H Bomber Guy or whatever, though. Like, that's nonsense, too, like...
Lots of Papa does sound like a YouTuber.
Right?
More like a Twitch streamer, though.
I'm like, try to think about it. I'm like, you know how stupid you would sound being like, oh my God, Lots of Papa was killed. But then it was like, honestly, it feels a lot like being like, I am in no place to judge.
Like Lil Gronk raised up Freddie or whoever it was.
A few weeks later, on July 25th, and around this time, Bobby Beausoleil is becoming increasingly involved with the Manson family. This is where we really start getting like the family crimes, because Manson himself killed Lots of Papa. But
which I didn't know. I didn't know that Manson actually personally killed anybody.
Well, I'm pretty sure he wasn't convicted of it, but like all of the books talk about it. Like, but the
it
serious
doesn't matter
murders,
whether he personally
like,
did or not.
Yeah, no, I don't care whatsoever. But like the ones that were like planned, like really planned, were not him.
They were carried
that's
out
like one
by
of the
others,
most famous things that people know about him, is that he didn't kill himself. A few weeks later, on July 25th, was the kidnapping and murder of Gary Hinman, a UCLA PhD student and music teacher who was friendly with members of the Manson family and allowed some to occasionally stay at his Topanga Canyon home. Charles believed Hinman had inherited money and was therefore wealthy. These people, oh my God, they think so many people are wealthy because they have like $50 in their wallet. Like so like the girls would go out and scam people, give them like sometimes real names, sometimes fake names, but they would do it at bars that like they frequented. So people knew who the fuck they were. Like you knew the fucking Manson girls. And they always thought that somebody was rich because he had like some cash and could buy them drinks. I'm like, that's not what wealthy means. Like you need to aim higher.
You've spent time with actual wealthy people.
I know.
You were hanging out with a beach boy for a while. Like you live in LA. Like
fucking wild. They're also high.
Yeah, they are very high.
On July 25th, 1969, Manson sent Bobby Beausoleil, Mary Brunner, and Susan Atkins to Hinman's home to convince him to join the family and hand over his supposed assets. The trio held Hinman hostage for 2 days as he repeatedly denied having any money. During this time, Manson arrived at the house with a sword and slashed Hinman's face and ear. After Manson left. Yeah, fucking insane. Where'd you get a sword?
To be fair, I know a lot of people that collect katanas.
I think a lot of bisexuals love swords.
But I don't know that they're sharp enough, like the ones that just hang on your wall that you can like actually cut somebody with them.
I think if you slash someone, you could probably cut someone with one of those. Yeah. Maybe not like
I guess you can cut people with a butter knife. Like
literally, people get cut with paper.
How embarrassing! Isn't it like a little hurt to your ego, a little chip on your ego every time you get a paper cut?
It doesn't happen to me because I can't read.
That fucking cut by paper.
It's actually really dramatic, really beautiful, really poetic.
It's horrible.
Manson leaves, and I'll just say they fatally stab him a number of times. We don't need any more of that. But before fleeing, either Bosley or one of the women used Hinman's blood to write "political piggy" on the wall and drew a Black Panther paw print, intending to make the killing appear politically motivated, implicate the Black Panthers, and begin the race war.
I literally just thought of that image of that old man who wrote Black's Rule on his own driveway and like burned a flag.
Oh my God.
Like,
it's so embarrassing.
It's literally just that. Political piggy. What does that even mean?
Well, I mean, like, obviously the word pig was being used for police.
Of course. But political piggy.
I don't think that phrase existed as like something that the Black Panthers were ever using. I think they were
the
high
ramblings
on
of
drugs.
high people. Yeah.
And their idea that this would implicate the Black Panthers, I guess, makes more sense when you know they drew the paw print.
Yeah.
But like the Black Panthers weren't going around like murdering people and leaving paw prints.
No,
like,
they were feeding school children breakfast.
So fucking comical to be like, oh, look, and they were here. One of them even left their paw print. I'm like, you know they're not Panthers, right?
They're literally Panthers.
I would not be surprised if these people believed that the Black Panthers were Panthers, okay? The amount of drugs that they were on.
Yeah, they might have believed that they were animorphs and they morphed before they committed crimes.
Sometimes when I'm high and I walk by the mirror, I think there's someone in my apartment. It happens to the best of us. I'm like, who is that ugly bald freak? And I'm like, oh, it's just me. And I'm not ugly, but I am bald and I am a freak and I am ugly. So they then stole the fucking dead guy's car. Because they never met a car they wouldn't fucking steal.
They loved stealing cars. They were like, cars are for stealing. To them, cars were like the little bowls of candy that they set out in offices. The doctor's office.
And the dead guy is the secretary with her back turned.
Quick, grab the pole and run.
But because they're obviously geniuses, the only people fit to survive the apocalypse, they left the fucking murder weapon in the car and then drove the stolen car around with the murder weapon in it.
Oh my God.
And
I imagine it's still like dripping with blood.
Yeah.
Didn't even wipe it off on something.
And that's how Bosley was arrested on August 6th.
Oh
driving
my
the
God.
fucking car around with a murder weapon in it. So 2 days later, on the night of August 8th, 1969, and now we're getting into it. This is like, they pick up really quickly.
Right.
Charles Manson instructed Tex Watson to lead Susan Atkins, Linda Kasabian, and Patricia Krenwinkel, fuck these names, to 1,000...
Krenwinkel.
Krenwinkel, go to jail.
Oh,
she did.
What kind of fucking imp is that? Oh my God, she did. That sounds like
It's
a
giving-
Keebler elf.
Yeah, like, okay,
Krenwinkel.
Patricia fucking Rumpelstiltskin.
Keebler elf ass name.
He instructs them all to go to 10,050 Cielo Drive, where record producer Terry Melcher's former residence was, which again, he did not live there.
No, now
Manson-
Sharon Tate and that pedophile live there.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately,
Very
he was not
heavily
home.
pregnant Sharon Tate.
Yeah. The home was by then being rented by actress Sharon Tate and her piece of shit husband, Roman Polanski, director, who was in Europe filming, I think, The Day of the Dolphin. Manson directed the women to follow Watson's lead once there. So he was like, obviously, we're going to go a killing. You need to listen to this man. The victims were Sharon Tate, 26. She was an actress and she was 8.5 months pregnant.
She was ready to pop. That
Jay
was a whole
Sebring,
ass baby in her.
That is a full baby.
That is a viable baby in her.
Oh, yeah. Jay Sebring, 35, celebrity hairstylist, and Tate's former lover, now just friend, visiting her that night. Abigail Folger, 25, heiress to the Folgers' coffee fortune,
Whoa.
socialite and volunteer, also visiting, and Wojciech Frykowski, Polish writer and boyfriend of Folger, visiting with her. And Stephen Parent, 18, a friend of the property's caretaker, and unlike everybody else who was stabbed a lot, he was shot and killed in his car as he was taking off. After the killings, as the group was leaving, Susan Atkins used Sharon Tate's blood to scrawl the word pig on the front door. Now, the killings were extremely violent, super brutal, like really messed up shit that like really shocked people when this came out. Like this was widespread. If you're a true crime freak and that's like your kind of thing is the gory details, this is one of those cases that you'll listen to the podcast and then not be able to fucking sleep that night. Like these are fucked up. I have no intention of getting into it here.
Yeah, thank you for that.
I honestly think the way that they stage the crime scenes, I think that's interesting. Like that piques my like morbid part of my brain much more. Like I don't want to hear about a pregnant woman being stabbed to death like that. I'm actually so good, thank you. But them setting everything up and like their plans after and the way they all thought it would tie in is stupid. But like after having done the research, I was like seeing it all come together. It really sells that to me that the race war was if not the main motivating factor for these killings. People would then, like the guy who wrote the second book, Chaos, Tom O'Neill, I think, he suggested that maybe it was possible that the reason they went there was to send a message to the producer to be like, see, we can come get to you. Like, we'll kill somebody just to show you that we can come get to you, like you're next kind of thing. But I don't, like, why not just kill him then? Killing the people that live at his house now? That feels so, like, who says he would even hear about it?
Right.
Like, does he know? Like, if he sees a report that Sharon Tate was murdered, does he know that Sharon Tate is now living there? Like, normally there's some, like, overlap. I don't know anybody that's moved into my last apartment.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just...
Did he, like, sell the house to them, or...?
No, I think they were renting. I'm pretty sure they were renting.
Did he know that he did know that they were looking for him. It's also quite likely that they were like planning on like committing some crimes. Were pissed that he wasn't there, but they were like, I don't know,
might as well.
Might as well.
I'm not sure about whether he was renting. Maybe he did know that they were there, but still, it just, I don't know. I guess it doesn't really make sense to be like, these drugged up murderers aren't making any sense in their motive. And it's like, well, maybe they don't. Yeah. The brutality of the killings and the fame of the victims caused a nationwide media frenzy and widespread fear, especially in Los Angeles's elite circles. Like people are like, oh, are they coming? Are the hippies coming for the rich? Counterculture's gone too far. The woke mob is killing us now.
The woke mob is literally killing us.
Yeah. So on the night following the Tate murders, 7 family members, Manson, Tex, Susan, Linda, Patricia, and Leslie, and one that I'd never heard of before this, Steve Clem Grogan.
Clem.
But Clem is the name of that demon in season 6 and 7 of Buffy that has like all those skin folds, but is like very sweet.
Clem.
And does taste tests with Dawn when Buffy's out fighting and she needs somebody to stay with her. They'll like have like passions marathons, like do like he'll be like, I set up a taste test. We're gonna taste all these different chips and see which one's which. Fucking amazing. But also anytime I see the word Clem, which is like often short for like Clemence or Clementine,
right,
I just think of this skin foldy demon. Yeah.
Skin fold demon.
Yeah. So they all drive to the Los Feliz home of Lino and Rosemary LaBianca. Gorgeous names. I'm sorry, Lino and Rosemary LaBianca. LaBianca's pristine, perfect
Sounds
name.
like a perfume.
Oh my God, yes. The house had been selected more or less at random from what everybody agrees. Through the window, Manson spotted LaBianca asleep on the couch, and the two men entered the house via an unlocked back door. They did some things to them. Rosemary fought back, but did not make it. Neither of them made it. And in this, Watson is really taking like a leading role, like instructing the women what to do, which is just terrifying in every way. According to them, later in the trial, it was Krenwinkel who used the couple's blood to write Rise, Death to Pigs, and then on the fridge, Helter Skelter.
Helter Skelter.
His homegirl didn't know how to spell Helter Skelter.
Did she spell it with 2 E's or an E and an A?
EA. Helter Skelter. Okay, I'm so sorry. And I don't mean to be like super crass about this. I know that like we are a comedy podcast and we blur some lines, but yes, I would be mad about being murdered. But if you at my fucking crime, if at my fucking crime scene, somebody comes in and tries to frame someone and doesn't even take the time to like have a piece of paper up, like you're using my
with your blood, with
my blood. No,
misspelling.
It is disrespectful.
Imagine like, they wrote "you're next," but it was Y-O-U-R.
Yeah,
you're next.
My next.
I mean, I would haunt them out of sheer embarrassment.
Oh, absolutely. I hate them. There's nothing worse than like an inept murderer who's good enough to kill, but not good enough to not not
spell.
Make it like not to make it like really fucking disrespectful. Like if you want to murder me and use my blood to start an apocalypse because you're like, you need it in like a chalice to give to a demon or something, that's one thing. Ask me about it first. I know plenty of people, like if it doesn't need to be my blood, I know plenty of people would be into that.
What if you only need a pint? I don't even need to die. I'll let you take a little.
Yeah, no, can we calm down? You can have some of my blood. Like I'm not even using all of it probably. I give some to like some lady that comes to my house to take it every 3 months so that I can be on prep. I'm sure like a month and a half in, I can give somebody else some blood too, a demon or what have you. Mm-hmm. That night, there was an attempted third set of murders. Manson sent Kasabian, Grogan, Clem, and Atkins to the home of an acquaintance of Kasabian's for a possible third. And Kasabian deliberately knocked on the wrong door to sabotage the plan because he did not want to kill them, which I don't know what would have happened if somebody else had opened the door, like the other door, but it seemed like he knocked on a door where it seemed like somebody wasn't home. And because he was like the dude there, actually, I think all 3 of these were men. They just went home to the ranch. Donald Shorty Shea was a stuntman and a horse wrangler living at Spawn Ranch, where the Manson family was based. And around 10 days after the August 16th, 1969 sheriff's raid on the ranch, Shea was murdered by Manson and members of the family. So like, as soon as anybody seems like they're going to be cooperating with authorities, time to die. Mm-hmm. Manson was suspecting that Shea was informing on them and helped instigate the raid, partly because he disapproved of Shea's interracial marriage to a Black woman, viewing it as a sin, which like, you are a literal murderer, sir. You're a little rapist and murderer. Manson also suspected Shea may have known about the Tate-LaBianca murders, and that made him more of a potential threat. Oh my gosh. Years later, in 1977, Steve Grogan finally provided authorities with a map of the burial site, contradicting prior family claims that Shea had been dismembered and buried in pieces. They lied so that they basically wouldn't go looking for him.
For the body, yeah.
Shea's body was recovered intact and brought back to his family, which I guess is something, confirming Grogan's directions were accurate. And in 1985, Grogan became the first person convicted of a Manson-ordered murder to be paroled. The assumption is that his cooperation gave him leniency, and the fact that he went against what all the other family members were saying showed like at least some remorse, or at least like some disconnection from the group, because they did not turn on him. Like when all this finally went down, these girls lockstep. It's wild to see.
So insane.
Manson was found guilty of Shea's murder in a 1971 trial that took place after the Tate-LaBianca convictions. And we're going like back and forth a bit here. Family members Bruce David and Steve Clem Grogan were also convicted in separate trials for their roles in Shea's murder, and all received life sentences. Former LAPD Detective Cliff Shepard stated that Manson repeatedly claimed responsibility for many more killings, like after the fact, and had told his cellmate that he was responsible for 35 murders.
Is any of that believable though, or is that just him being?
35 is a lot, but honestly, I wonder how many times like he lured somebody somewhere with the promise of drugs and women and stabbed them and stole their wallet, and it was just like a stabbing or something.
Right.
That, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
especially if he was sex trafficking these women.
Right.
The likelihood of them just being like another John stabbed is like probably
Right.
more likely than like these murders where they're killing like high profile people. Like that's when people were really starting to look for them.
Pay attention. Yeah.
And over the years, I don't know, maybe 35 is a lot, but.
And we know he's a little prone to exaggerate.
Yeah. Like authorities suspect more murders. There was 9 counts of first degree murder in the end, but the LAPD said, I think that they were suspecting around 12 more.
Okay.
So it seems possible, right?
Yeah.
I'm no fan of the LAPD or whatever, but I'm not going to suggest that the Manson family was like, oh, we have a very small amount of people that we're killing.
Yeah.
And we're going
I
to
don't think the LAPD is like railroading the Manson family.
Yeah.
Like...
Deborah Tate, Sharon Tate's sister, stated investigators were just scraping the surface and mentioned a map of the Panamint Range that Manson sent her, marked with crosses she believed to be burial sites. But people went and they checked places based on the map and nobody was ever found. So,
oh my God, how is he able to send his victim's sister mail? Like, what the fuck?
Jail was a wild west back then.
Does somebody ever go, I see this letter is addressed to your victim's sister. I'm not putting it in the mailbox. Like,
I mean, it's entirely possible that they didn't even really bother checking if there was like any correlation, but that is like an indictment, not an excuse.
Yeah.
Of like the fact that they do nothing to protect victims and their families.
No.
So some of the cases of suspected murder are actually fairly compelling, and I'm going to go through some of those. There was like 9 of them, but there was only a few that I like personally was like, that makes sense to me. Darwin Morrill Scott was Manson's uncle, and he was found stabbed a bunch of times in Kentucky. And the crime scene was like fucking horrific. And locals had reported seeing a man resembling Manson in the area using the alias Preacher. And it occurred during a time when Manson had fallen out of contact with his parole officer. So I'm like,
right.
That does not feel like a stretch.
Yeah.
It's if it's a coincidence, it is an unlikely one.
Yeah.
John Philip Hott joined the family in 1969 and was arrested in an October raid and died on November 5th, 1969, reportedly from Russian roulette. The gun had 7 bullets in it and was wiped clean of prints. So that's not Russian roulette when it's just full of bullets.
Yeah.
And a witness saw a female family member holding the gun afterward. And police were like, sounds like a suicide to us. So if anything, the LAPD is doing the opposite of pinning murders on him.
I'm trying to go over in my head how you play Russian roulette and then wipe the gun down afterwards. Like, remove your own prints from the gun.
Nobody knows. I guess it's just one of life's kooky little mysteries. 2 Scientologists, James Sharp, 15, and Doreen Gall, 19, were both murdered on November 7th. I'll say it's what was called overkill. Do you know this term? Where you're stabbed. Yeah. Which usually is almost always somebody you know. Like overkill normally doesn't involve a complete stranger. Like it would be more common with like in like sex crimes.
It's a crime of passion. Yeah. Doreen
Gall, 19, was rumored to have dated Bruce Davis, a family member who denied knowing her. The deaths bore resemblance to the Tate-LaBianca murders and the way that the crime scenes were left. Not like the writing on the walls or anything, but the condition of the bodies. Ronald Hughes was the defense attorney for family member Leslie Von Houten, who disappeared during a court recess in 1970, and his body wasn't found until 71. So like the Mansons were said to be very unhappy with him because he defied Manson in court. And Sandra Good called him the first of the retaliation murders. years. So like he literally disappeared during a court recess and was never seen again. Like that feels sus as hell.
Which also kind of makes it make a little bit more sense how the women in the family especially stayed so loyal to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would too.
Fear has got to play a role in that. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Lawrence Merrick directed the 1973 documentary Manson. He was murdered January 26, 1977, shot in the back at his acting school. But Dennis Mignano, who had possible ties to the Manson family, confessed in 1981 and was institutionalized. And that one's a bit flimsy to me. It doesn't seem unrelated, but it doesn't seem related. Like obviously other people are going to die who have connections to people who have connections to Manson. Like
especially because like half of them are doing crimes. Half of them are doing crimes and drugs, which tends to have some overlap.
Yeah. So that was the last one I thought even was closely connected, but the other ones feel like they might be. And I didn't want to not mention them. I know that they get skipped over a lot, but if I'm talking about the victims, I don't want to like just willy-nilly leave out ones that sound connected.
Right.
Now, there's several theories as to why all this went down, as we were talking about earlier. Like we know Helter Skelter, which is the most prevalent one. And I don't think it could be discounted at all. And I think sometimes you see people discount it. And in the way that they're saying it, it comes across a little like invalidating to the amount of racism that Charles like harbored, fostered, and acted upon, right? Like to be like, oh, it was like something completely unrelated. Like the race war was just a cover. It's like, well, he's a fucking white supremacist.
He like carved a swastika into his forehead.
Yeah. So prosecutor Vincent Bugliosi argued the Helter Skelter motive, but he was also building a career on this case. And the more sensational, the better, given he eventually made this case his entire career. Books, interviews, like media tours, like anytime anyone needed something, and a quote on Manson, you can get Bugliosi on. You know what I mean? Like it became the defining moment of his career, to the point where in part it became his career. Like this was his hustle, you know? I'm sure he probably made a lot more money off that book than anyone can imagine. Like that, it's still selling copies.
Yeah. It's very popular.
Yeah. Because you say like,
the front
you
of
don't know
every
about the
true crime
Mansons?
section.
Yes. It will be the number one book you get pointed to. I think only like hardcore people would likely read more than one. Maybe Chaos, because it's like in direct contention with Helter Skelter.
Right.
But I feel like most people, like Helter Skelter is much more sensational. Like if I was going to pick one of the two to read and just believe whatever they said, I'd probably pick Helter Skelter.
Right.
There are obviously other theories that are more in line with a normal criminal, which Manson was not, but it would feel weird to not even touch on them. And this one was, the one I'm about to get to, was popularized by Tom O'Neill. Yes. Okay. So the first one was the copycat motive. And this is like what the fandom calls it. They're like, which motive do you believe? It's like, oh, I'm copycat. Like sort of like if you go to like serial true crime people, you can be like, oh yeah, exactly. Everybody has their favorite. The copycat motive is, okay, so remember how Beausoleil was arrested in the stolen car for the murder with the murder weapon?
Mm-hmm.
And then the next murder occurred 2 days later of Sharon Tate. This theory, and LaBianca, is that they hoped that the killings would look so similar that because Beausoleil was behind bars, he would now be proven innocent because obviously he didn't do it.
Right.
If the murders are still occurring in the exact same way, which like works in movies, but not if you consider that multiple people were involved.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah.
Like that's just
also, you guys are still committing murders. Like,
well, yeah, but now it wasn't
one of you is going to get arrested.
Oh no, they're too smart for that. They're hoping that the race war is going to start.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot.
Right?
The race war
like,
is going to put an end to all this getting arrested.
Yeah. So like in all this arrested nonsense.
Yeah.
Because they're expecting like right now for the city to be in fucking flames and them to sneak out along their little carefully chosen map. So that was the claim. Family members, including Susan Atkins, Patricia Krenwinkel, Leslie Van Houten, and Bobby Beausoleil, later claimed this was the motive. and interviews conducted by Truman Capote and Anne Louise Bardock in 1981 also corroborated this motive. But things like, it's like, oh, the first killing was to trigger a race war, and we put all the race war stuff up. But the second one was just to get him out, but we also put all the race war stuff up. Like, it just feels like maybe they don't want to seem like insane racist cultists or something. I don't know. Like, it just feels,
I don't know.
for me, only having read the 2 books, to then come down on like a side. Like, I'm not going to be that cocky to be like, oh, I've got it figured it out, when people have been looking into this for fucking decades.
And then at the same time, like, if you're going to stage the second crime scene to look like the first crime scene, you kind of got to put up the racist, like, race war.
But then it's like, well, we weren't really racist. We didn't believe in this whole race war thing. But it's like, when you did it at the first one, we wanted to talk like we were race war people. Like, they did it in the first one, though. So it's just like, I could buy that wasn't the main motivating factor for why they went and killed the second people, because they were hoping, like, I could buy like, oh, we were hoping the first one would do it, and we had already killed that Black Panther.
Yeah. We didn't want to have to stage the second one to be race war.
Honestly, our hands were forced. Yeah.
We didn't want to throw a race war themed murder, but we had to.
Our hands were tied. Yeah.
Yeah. On account of the first race war themed murder.
Listen, I can excuse a race war themed murder, but I draw the line at a race war themed murder. I've always said this. Yeah. So Bugliosi did not support any claim, like anyone that was like, oh, we don't think it's the race war. Bugliosi was like, well, that's because you're a dumb fucking bitch. And everyone outside of his circle was like unsure about it, but he was pushing it hard because that also got like conspiracy charges added in. And if, I guess, like, conspiracy to start like a national war in the apocalypse, maybe that'll get you a harder sentence or whatever. But like, I don't know. They all got life sentences. I don't necessarily know that it would matter, but it was very flashy. It did make a lot of headlines, did sell books. So I don't know. I think like the most likely explanation is that everybody's a little bit right. That like he probably did sensationalize, but he sensationalized the fact that they all believed a race war was coming. And like maybe he attributed more of the motive to it, but it was still part of the motive.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
the motive can be a little bit multifaceted.
You can have more than one motive, or a motive that has several, like he had a whole fucking plan laid out, right? Yeah. Like they were also on LSD.
You can want to kill someone for many reasons at the same time, you know?
And normally when I want to kill someone, I do.
I do, yeah. I think it's never just one thing.
No, I think it'd be a little immature to want to kill someone for just one reason.
For just one thing? No. Yeah. It's a cumulative kind of thing.
Yeah. An even more mundane motive has also been presented. Some theorize the murder stemmed from drug-related conflicts, especially with like them being dealers, them being buyers, them knowing a bunch of celebrities' information, and then just not wanting to pay for shit because they were fucking thieves.
Yeah.
One theory is that Manson went to Tate's house the day before the murders to sell marijuana and cocaine, and Sebring and Frykowski beat Manson during the deal, and the next night's murders were revenge. I don't know how like corroborated that is. I know Kazanowski, Frykowski's friend, told police that Frykowski was connected to criminals in the drug trade. And in an interview with Truman Capote, Beausoleil said they burned people on dope deals, Sharon Tate and that gang. So maybe that's also part of it. Maybe there's 5 different motives.
I think there could be like a kill 2 birds with one stone thing.
If like you're already killing a bunch of people.
Yeah, for drug related reasons. Well, then I also want to, I want to put these murders to good use. Yeah. And start the race war that I know is coming.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because he wanted to basically start the first step, because I guess he was realizing
he's working smarter, not harder.
Black people are not actually rising up. Black men specifically are not actually rising up because they don't have access to white women. And when that didn't happen, he was like, well, somebody's got to start the fucking race war. So it might as well be me pretending me to be black.
It's like when you're at a party and nobody wants to eat any of the food that's been put out, like the food spread. Somebody just has to, and you know everybody else is hungry, but nobody wants to be the
somebody
first
has to get up and be like, what's all this then?
Yeah. And then suddenly it happens.
Journalist Ed Sander and Paul Krasner uncovered that Joel Rostow, Sebring's receptionist boyfriend, delivered mescaline and cocaine to the house just hours before the murders. Rostow and other Sebring associates were later murdered during the Manson trial. And the final popular competing theory is that these were revenge killings for Manson's failed music career and his feeling that he had been snubbed by Terry Melcher.
I think I had heard that before, which is...
That one feels like also part of a potential...
Yeah. Resentment can be part of this.
Yeah.
I don't think it's any one thing, right? I feel like when most people kill somebody, like even if it's just like a crime of passion that happens like over an argument or something, it's never one thing, right?
No. And like, as I said, some people think Manson may not have known that, but I don't buy that. I don't buy that he thought he still lived there. But Tex Watson and Mark Lindsay, Melcher's roommate, confirmed Manson knew he'd moved and that a note was left at Melcher's new home.
Yeah.
So like if that happened, that explanation just makes zero sense. Although Susan Atkins testified the house was specifically chosen to instill fear into Terry Melcher. So I'm like, all these cultists are just saying random stuff. I'm not going to believe anyone. How about that?
I think probably a lot of them don't really remember a whole lot too because they were on drugs.
Yeah, and maybe they heard different stories.
Yeah. For all we know, Charles Manson could have showed up that one day, been told that Melcher doesn't live there anymore, and then just fucking forgot because he's fucking high on drugs all the time.
It happens to the best of me. In Tom O'Neill's book, Chaos, he posits that many documents were hidden by prosecutor Bugliosi. And the truth is that the CIA was using Manson and his family as part of an MK Ultra experiment. And now we're going to take our last little break and close out the episode.
Oh my gosh. Let's get ads for the CIA.
For MK Ultra. For brainwashing.
MK Ultra.
For LSD.
I love all these acronyms. Let's get an ad for acronyms.
Ooh.
I love an acronym.
And we're back, and it is now December 1st, 1969. And the LAPD finally went public with everything that they knew, announcing warrants for the arrest of Charles Tex Watson, Patricia Krenwinkel, and Linda Kasabian. The charges were for the Tate murder specifically, with a note that they were also suspects in the LaBianca killings. Okay. Noticeably absent from this initial announcement, Charles Manson and Susan Atkins, who had already just been brought into custody, and Leslie Van Houten, whose connection to the LaBianca case hadn't yet been recognized. He is very easy to spot, I will say. Manson is...
He's well branded. Yeah.
He's about to get branded.
Oh, that too.
I'm not going to go into the trial and do like a whole like back and forth evidence presented shit. But I do want to, because this is supposed to be a comedy podcast, I do want to get into some of the bonkers things that happened during the trial because it was a shit show. Like he was not showing up and like calmly sitting there. Starting with, he represented himself, which is...
Sounds about right, yeah.
Just so on brand and so stupid. And it's, I think, what led to... Have you ever seen Kimmy Schmidt?
I have, yeah.
John Hamm plays a Manson character where he has an underground bunker full of girls.
Leader.
Yes. Yeah. And in the episode where he gets arrested and goes to trial, he's representing himself and he's giving like full Manson vibes. And whenever I rewatch that season, I always get so upset during this episode because I'm like, the prosecutors are like the stupidest people in the world. And I feel that way about whenever I see one of these trials where I'm like, this man defended himself and obviously he didn't get off, but like he got away with so much. Like he was not like the judge, the fucking bailiffs, like everybody should have been tackling this man every time he looked at one of these girls. Like, I know that they are like co-defendants or whatever, but he was the cult leader. Like, they should
And
be
he was like
tried.
signaling to them.
Yeah, like there's communication between them. Like okay. For example, Manson represented himself until he went wild. He just like started saying random stuff. There was gag order violations because he was told he couldn't talk about specific things, would do it anyways, would file like gibberish motions. Like he would just be like, object. Just like, he did not understand what a trial was. He was not a lawyer. He was just saying nonsense.
Usually when they offer to represent themselves, they don't.
Yeah.
They never do.
And he had his permission to represent himself revoked because he was like clearly incapable.
Right.
So Manson filed an affidavit of prejudice and a different judge took over. On day 1 of testimony, Manson showed up with a big ol' X carved into his forehead, claiming he'd X'd himself from the establishment's world.
Okay.
Days later, the female defendants and family followers that were in the courtroom were twinning with X's of their own. So, like, obviously he's still controlling them. He's still manipulating them. And that's what I'm saying. Like, he got away with too much, like, even in court. Like, obviously he got a life sentence, so he didn't get away with it. But like, he's still controlling these people.
He shouldn't have had
They
the
should
power
never
to do
have been
that.
in the courtroom together. Like, they should not have been able. They should have been sequestered. They should have never known what was going on with him. I got really upset when I saw that. I'm like, how long is this gonna fucking go on? Like, they've already been arrested and they're still carving fucking shit into their faces.
Allowing them to mutilate themselves for him.
Yeah, and how are they getting away with mutilating themselves when they're in custody? I guess you can like use your fingernails or something, but it just seems like you shouldn't be able to get away with doing that.
No.
Like, they shouldn't be able to harm themselves in custody. Like, if you are going to arrest someone, they are under your protection as well.
Yeah.
Like,
there's a reasonable expectation that people in the custody of the state should be protected by the state.
And the ones who had not been connected to the murders and arrested spent their time hanging outside the courthouse, not like right outside, but near it enough, with X's carved into their heads, sporting hunting knives. They're just running about.
Oh my God.
By October 5th, after being denied permission to question a witness, the fact that he thinks he gets to represent himself, but then also interrogate the people who are like testifying against him is like insane. Manson leapt over the defense table to attack the judge because he was denied. Bailiffs tackled him and the female defendants chanted in Latin like a demonic choir.
Oh my God.
A shit show.
It's a carnival.
Fucking circus. Yes. Like, Judge Older, that was his name. He wasn't older. Well, maybe he was. Allegedly started wearing a revolver under his robes from the day forward. Like, which
so the judge feels like he's in danger.
Yeah.
Like, can we do something about this?
No,
First of all, get the rabble of girls out of here that are clearly like making him behave this. Like, they are part of his audience here.
Yeah. Like, some of them were
put him in a straitjacket.
Were part of the public.
Yeah.
Like, sitting in the courtroom.
Get
like,
them out of here.
No. On November 16th, 1970, the prosecution rested its case. And 3 days later, the defense shocked everyone by also resting without calling a single witness. Just great at this. Atkins, Krenwinkel, and Van Houten erupted, demanding to testify. In private, their lawyers admitted the women wanted to claim they alone committed the murders and Manson had nothing to do with it. And their attorneys were like, no, we refused to participate in what they called scripted martyrdom, saying he would not push a client out the window, which, like, good.
Yeah.
Because their entire job is to protect their client, not fucking Manson. Years later, and you can see why one of them went fucking missing. Years later, Krenwinkel admitted the entire proceedings were scripted by Charlie. The next day, Manson finally testified with the jury booted from the room. Bugliosi said it was to avoid violating People v. Aranda. You can't incriminate co-defendants. So, like, because the other followers were on trial in front of the same jury, he could not say anything that would incriminate them. I guess also, I think he was kind of worried that Manson would hypnotize the jury with his spooky cult eyes if he got the chance to, like, go up and talk to them, like, himself, like to really... The next day, Manson rambled for over an hour, claimed the Beatles told the youth to rise up, asked, this fucking killed me. I love this so much. Why blame it on me? I didn't write the music. As if like,
It's
the
really the
album was on
Beatles who your
trial.
problem is with. Yeah.
Nobody there thinks the Beatles had anything to do with this, sir. It was just
So
so
they're
funny.
frightened of you.
I didn't write the music. Like, I love
God,
it
he
so
is
much.
insane.
He's so unhinged.
I'm surprised he was allowed to represent himself because he's clearly unwell.
I think if you want him to go to jail, it's probably a good idea, though.
Yeah.
Because he might have only been charged with like a single murder. Like, this is why they needed the conspiracy charge, because he wasn't present or like wasn't active in a large
In the others, yeah.
portion of the murders, right? So the conspiracy charge allowed them to have him like conspiracy to murder a shit ton of people. Mid-penalty phase, like when everything was going on, Manson shaved his head and forked his beard, declaring, I am the devil, and the devil always has a bald head.
Oops. I see you, Kaylin Conrad.
You got me. The woman waited until the jury deliberated before shaving their heads too.
Oh my God. You shouldn't let
I think
them
they waited
in the
until the jury deliberated because they probably realized that like mimicking him proved that he was still in control of them.
That he was still controlling them.
Yeah, like you can't be like, we did this all on our own, and then also be like, but we do everything he tells us. Oh my God. I know. So the jury didn't buy the copycat story. And on March 29th, 1971, they returned the death verdicts for all four. On April 19th, 1971, Judge Charles Older officially sentenced Manson, Atkins, Krenwinkel, and Van Houten to death. Tex Watson fled to McKinney, Texas after the Tate-LaBianca murders, and fought his extradition, delaying long enough to avoid being tried alongside them. And his trial began in August 1971, and he was convicted of 7 murders and 1 conspiracy count and sentenced to death. I don't know why he wanted to delay his trial, but I think he didn't want to be on trial with Manson. Which fair. There's lots of things I wouldn't want to do with Manson, and being on trial with him is one of them. I've always said this. Unfortunately, in 1972, California's People v. Anderson abolished the death penalty, and all of them lost their life sentences and were given life in prison. I personally think it would have been okay if Manson died. I wouldn't advocate for his death.
Right.
But if this story had been like, so they killed Manson and the next day the death penalty was abolished and none of the followers died, I'd be like,
oopsie
I guess life's just silly and funny and great that way.
Right.
If I was like on a panel of people and was asked if I thought the death penalty was justice, I would say no.
Yeah. I don't think that state should have the power to kill
Absolutely
people regardless
even
of
when
whatever
they're
they did.
clearly guilty. I know the argument is usually, but what if they're not guilty?
But
Sometimes
even if they're
people are
clearly guilty.
crazy guilty. Yeah. But I do think that if, say, you're walking down the street and you see a John Wayne Gacy mayhaps, and you were one of his victims and you know him, you escaped and you know him to be a murderer, maybe the state isn't involved and maybe you have a little murder yourself, and maybe that's fine. Maybe that's great even. Nobody would know.
Maybe it's okay if you like accidentally hit him with your car and knock him off of a cliff or something.
Sometimes when I'm driving my car that I don't have, I accidentally knock murderers down wells, and I don't know. I don't feel bad about it.
And I don't know what happens to them after that.
I'm not a willologist.
I'm also not the United States of America, so
yeah, and I never have been.
I'm not a government.
That's actually the first thing I tell people
about you. The rules of a government don't apply to me. Yeah, she's not the United States of America.
My podcast co-host Hoots, who is not the United States of America. So after being returned to prison, Manson's counterculture charisma was kind of like,
the spell was broken.
Yeah, they were like, oh, you're just like a batshit murderer.
You're just
and
like a
now you're
freak.
also older and you have like an X on your forehead. Like, we're not here for you. He briefly gained protection and acceptance from the Aryan Brotherhood while he was there, but only in
that makes sense.
Yeah, but only in a submissive role. Like, he was no longer in charge of anyone. He needed to like follow their rules. He was in San Quentin, and allegedly he was like,
what a fall from grace.
Partner is probably a strong word, to a sexually aggressive member who like kept Manson as like his kept submissive or whatever. Yeah. Super fucked up that is allowed to happen unless it was consensual. Who knows what Manson was into?
Shit might have been. I don't know.
Yeah. Toilet's a toilet, he always says.
Mm-hmm.
Due to the revised sentence of no longer having a death sentence, Manson became eligible for parole after 7 years of incarceration, which you do not get when you have a death sentence. And on November, it would be really funny if they did, though. If they were like, you're being put to death in 5 years, after 7 years, you're eligible for parole.
Yeah.
So just got to make it there. His first parole hearing was held at California Medical Facility in Vacaville? It sounds made up.
Never heard of it.
Vacaville. Come on down to Vacaville.
Vacaville.
His petition for parole was denied, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
Starting a few years later, for some reason, somehow, Charles Manson was allowed to and then began giving interviews to mainstream media. One interview that won the National News Emmy Award for Best Interview in 1987. Like, they were just going and interviewing him in prison.
We're sick and it's entertaining, so they're allowed to do it.
Yeah, it's real sick behavior. On September 25th, 1984, while in prison at the California Medical Facility, Manson was set on fire by a fellow inmate, Jan Holstrom, who sounds like somebody who starts fires, I will say.
Yeah. Good for you, Jan.
Who poured paint thinner on him and ignited it. Which is like, when you see a cult leader murderer, look to your left, look to your right. If you see Charles Manson, set him on fire.
Yeah.
He suffered second and third degree burns on more than 20% of his body. And Holstrom said the attack was because Manson objected to his Hare Krishna chants and had verbally threatened him. And was like, you want to fucking threaten somebody? You want to threaten a fucking Hare Krishna, you dumb bitch?
Free him.
Find out about my fucking cult. After that, Manson was housed in the protective housing units for inmates whose safety would be endangered in Gen Pop, which, like, I guess after a prisoner set in fire, you should probably do. But, like, as a leftist sometimes, I'm not even conflicted. Like, I know that's the right thing to do, but I want to be, I kind of dream, like, sort of how I still picture having cigarettes, even though I know they're bad for me and the environment.
Right.
I still am like, but what if we left him there? And then I'm like, no, we can't.
This is another reason I'm anti-death penalty. Like, people are like, well, what if the family of the victim want them to die? And I'm like, well, we're not rational beings. Like, we're not making the best decisions. We're bloodthirsty little freaks.
What if they want him cut into pieces and spread all over the Atlantic? What then? Should we do that? Or is it just like, just general requests? Like, we want him to die, we want him to live, we want him to have no skin or whatever. In prison, Manson recorded an unreleased acoustic pop album titled Completion. We don't have them.
Oh, damn it. I wish we had that one. Completion.
Henry Rollins produced. Only 5 copies were pressed. 2 remained with Rollins, and the other 3 were presumed to be with Manson. It was in 2013 in one of these interviews where Manson publicly stated, sex is like a toilet to me. Mm-hmm. You know what? We'll give the whole quote one more time. Sex to me is like going to the toilet. Whether it's a girl or not, it doesn't matter. I don't play that girl guy shit. I'm not hung up in that game. He always sounds like he's trying to convince you of something. Like it's like
actually you're a loser for not being bisexual.
Yeah. I don't play that girl guy shit.
Yeah.
In 2014, Manson became engaged to 26-year-old Afton Elaine Burton, aka Star.
He was like 80.
Homegirl looks exactly like Ethel Cain. It is crazy.
Oh my God, show me. Oh my God,
I'm sending you a photo right now. This is Ethel Cain. Not like Hayden and Adonia. This is Ethel Cain. Like, this is the dead girl that she plays.
Who ends up in a freezer. Yeah. Oh my God, dude.
Right? Is that literally not just like fucking Ethel Cain?
Jesus.
And he looks fucking insane.
I mean, he
As
looks
per
like
usual.
the guy who ate Ethel Cain.
Yeah, absolutely. That's Isaiah.
Girl, you're too pretty for this.
I know. Oh my God. I know she's actually quite pretty. Journalist Daniel Simone reported that Manson discovered Burton wanted to marry him to use his corpse as a tourist attraction after he died.
Okay, I support her. I support her.
But Manson was like, joke's on her. I'll marry her anyway and I'll never die.
Great plan. Great plan, Charlie. Sign those papers.
On November 19th, 2017, Manson died at the hospital from cardiac
Joke's on you,
arrest.
bitch.
I love he's like, I'll never die.
Oops.
Cardiac arrest due to respiratory failure caused by colon cancer.
Ooh. Oh, I hope he died in pain.
Oh, he did.
Colon cancer sounds painful.
It is. I from everything I read, because I did Google colon cancer. How long? Because I wanted to see if he was just like
suffering.
Yeah. Now, I bet you're wondering who gets his silly little corpsey.
Yeah. Who
Did she
got
get
the
to
corpse?
display it?
Did she get it?
After his death, there was like a bidding war for this fucking corpse.
Oh
there was like
God,
3
amazing.
people who were like, this is mine. That like, or are you going to finish that? Because that's
course.
mine. Was there 3 people or 4 people? 4 people. Only 3 were real contenders. They were like, we are not, ma'am, Ethel, we're not giving you this corpse. It's actually not legal to have a corpse as a tourist attraction, you fucking psycho.
She was going to taxidermy him. She was
Oh,
going to do
that
it
would've been cute.
herself.
Jason Freeman, Charles Manson's recognized grandson, sought possession of Manson's remains and belongings. Imagine being Charles Manson's fucking grandson.
And then like wanting to have his remains.
I think maybe so that they could like fucking cleanse the family of it. Probably.
Maybe.
Or so that it
I
wasn't
would just
like,
be like, I'm not that
I'd wanna-
Manson. I'm a different Manson.
I would want those remains so that I could chuck them in the garbage somewhere and then I would change my name and I would never have to hear about people visiting his grave or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Michael Channels, a longtime pen pal of Manson, claimed he had a 2002 will that left his entire estate and body to him.
Sounds legit.
Yeah. Ben Gorecki, a friend of Manson, presented a 2017 will allegedly naming Matthew Roberts, another supposed son, as heir to both the estate and the remains. However, a 2012 CNN DNA test confirmed Roberts and Freeman were not biologically related. On March 12th, 2018, a California court ruled in favor of Freeman concerning the rights to Manson's body. Because they knew Freeman was his grandson, they tested him against Matthew Roberts and there was no connection. So they're like, well, then you're definitely not. So even if we had a will, this is not a blood relative, doesn't matter.
Right.
On March 12th, 2018, he got the body. And then on March 17th, Freeman had Manson cremated and scattered his ashes on a hillside in California, which is disgusting. And I would be worried that they would land on like a doll or something and there would be like a child's play Chucky situation. Yeah.
Gross.
Because I'm also pretty
child's
sure.
play cult.
Yeah. I was thinking about Chucky and the guy who, like in the very first Child's Play movie, where you see him getting chased and going into the body, he looked a lot like Charles fucking Manson.
Yeah.
It might have even been based on him. I have no idea.
I could see like a Child's Play sequel where like Charles Manson's ashes are scattered onto a doll and Charles Manson like becomes a cult doll and like gets his other doll followers to kill and then actual Chucky is like recruited to stop
to kill
the
him.
Charles Manson doll and also kills people along the way.
Well, yeah, of course, as you do,
because he's Chucky.
That sounds good. Well, yeah, he's got you have to chase your bliss, I always say. So yeah, that's it. We're done. We made it through.
Well, this Manson guy sure sucks.
Yeah, he got around a lot.
Yeah.
Eventually, we're going to listen to some of his music. Don't listen to it.
Speaking of musicians named Manson, can't
wait till that episode.
Imagine being the kind of guy who's like, I'm going to name myself after Charles Manson.
It's so edgy and appropriate based on everything that I know about him.
Yeah. It's real rapist vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stay tuned for the morgue. I can't wait for that. This has been real fun. Good job.
Thanks. It's always nice to eventually get to do a 3-parter, but it is so much
A
work.
lot of work. So please
Even
give
just
us money.
speaking for
Yeah.
that long. Like
Having the light on my face for more than an hour.
I hate the light.
Oh my God. It makes me so tired.
If we could film this in the dark, I know. I'm so lucky that this time I wasn't like I normally am. Like if you go back and watch episodes and you start looking for my blinks, you'll start noting them because I'm like, because like my eyes are just like fucking drying out from the light in it.
For a long time, I refused to turn my light on, but it really showed in the episodes. I was like, I'm a little pixely. Should probably turn on the light.
Yeah, surprisingly, cameras
they work better in the light.
They basically run on light.
There was so I'm an active lurker, not poster, in the r/Titanic subreddit. And like every now and then there's like a kind of stupid question. I know they say that there's no such thing as stupid questions, but there are.
That's a lie.
And one person was like, there would have been cameras on board. Not many, but there would have been cameras on board. What is the likelihood that somebody snapped a picture of the iceberg as they're coming up to it? And a lot of like really sweet, well-meaning people in the replies were like explaining that camera technology in 1912 was like not at a place where you could take a photo of an object on the sea at a moonless night and it would look like anything other than like a black square. Like even today with our iPhone,
getting out your fucking flashbulb too. Setting everything up.
Like it's just,
and also
there were cameras on Titanic.
Icebergs are large.
Yeah.
Like it's not like you can just get a flash with it like when it's on the desk or whatever. If it's coming up to you and you're fine, by the time a flash would be able to illuminate it, yeah,
it's gone.
Like,
it's,
to be fair, that seems like the kind of question I would ask, like jokingly.
Yeah. Maybe it was meant as a joke. It didn't seem it. It seemed very sincere. It seemed very sincere.
This is somebody who grew up with an iPhone and like literally is like, why wouldn't anybody take a photo?
They were like very hopefully like, I know that none of the cameras like escaped, but like maybe at the bottom of the ocean somewhere there's a picture of the iceberg. And it's like, no, if somebody happened to be on deck in the middle of the night and seen it and happened to have their camera with them, it would look like this.
Yeah.
It would look like that.
I think they don't understand that icebergs aren't like a glowing blue thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's this image of an iceberg as like a white and blue, like,
right. Like
sort of like effervescent,
crystal, like a light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. It's not transparent. It's white, but like it's in the middle of the night. It's not going to look like anything other than like even if you could get the flash with it, it would just be like, I don't know, like a slightly lighter gray. Like a dark gray, like, like
when lookouts were looking for icebergs, they weren't even actually looking for the white of the iceberg. They were looking for the white of like waves crashing on an object because you can't see it at night. Like,
well, they didn't
anyway, this is a little Titanic tangent. More of those to come.
Anyway, I'm Dr. Kaylin Conrad. You can find me on Blue Sky at Kaylin on Twitter and Insta and YouTube at Kaylin Conrad, where I do much more heavily produced videos, but with a similar, this is a little serious, but we're having fun talking about it kind of vibe.
My name is Hoots. You can find me at Punished Hoots on Twitter and Hoots on Blue Sky. And I create video essays on youtube.com.
I've been there. If you want to suggest someone else for us to cover, you can do that on our Patreon, or you get access to our suggestion cemetery, where you can submit a name as well as a key to the morgue. That's where we do, as we mentioned earlier, our like episode debriefs in our autopsy reports. And this one's going to be, as we said, listening to Charles Manson's music. And Hoots is going to be visiting me in Canada in 6 weeks. So we're going to film it there. So you get like a special treat. If you're watching on YouTube, let's have that bell. Let's have that like. Let's have that subscribe. If you're not subscribed and you listen to all 3 episodes,
fake fan,
fake friend, that person going to hell, going to jail.
Say hi to Manson for us.
Yeah, when you go to jail and then hell.
And then hell. The 2 places he lives.
His 2 favorite places. If you're on a podcast app, give us like a cute little 5-star review, please. Thank you. And thanks to Davi Armanino for editing this episode. You can check out more of their work at daviarmanino.com. And you should, because they're amazing. Okay. Thanks, everyone.
We love you.
We love you. Goodbye.